I am so insanely excited to be making this video for you guys today because a Black Ops 2024 Easter egg has just been teased for Modern Warfare 2 along with other Black Ops Easter eggs that are already in the game. And genuinely, this is insanely exciting because it links Cold War zombies and the next Black Ops game in Modern Warfare 2. So let me stop teasing you about it and let's just dive in because it is insane. Now, this is all tied to the brand new map coming to Warzone 2 and DMZ in Season 2 called Ashika Island. You're seeing gameplay of this island and we got a full breakdown on the Call of Duty blog of everything to do with this map, but specifically on its history. And this is exactly where it links into Black Ops Cold War and the next Black Ops game. Now, how does it link into those two games? Well, we know from this simple sentence on the blog post. Originally planned as a resort destination, development on Ashika Island was halted in the mid-1990s. Now, when is the next Black Ops game rumored to take place? In the 90s. And where do we see Dr. Peck at the end of Black Ops Cold War? In Japan in 1990. Already alarm bells should be ringing in your head at that connection. Ashika Island existed in the 1990s. It is somewhere off the coast of Japan, exactly where Dr. Peck was at the end of this cutscene. But there's even more to talk about here. On a fundamental level, Call of Duty want to make sure that everything connects story-wise between these games, and we saw it with Modern Warfare and Black Ops Cold War. Soon as Modern Warfare launched, there was already a Cold War Easter egg at the end of the campaign when Nikolai mentions that Verdansk was rebuilt after the Cold War. Imram Zakayev from the Modern Warfare storyline was in Black Ops Cold War's campaign. And the most important of all, Rebirth Island, a Black Ops 1 concept from the 1980s, existed in the modern day and was used as the first Resurgence map. That on its own is so important to look at from a fundamental point of view. This is a brand new map which, like Rebirth, could have several iterations of it where we see it in the current day and then also see it in the 1990s as it's being described in this blog post with Black Ops 2024. It just makes perfect sense. Why wouldn't they have a map return in the next Black Ops game just like we saw with Rebirth Island? But what really excites me is the lore behind what happened in the 1990s and how this perfectly fits in with Dr. Peck and the end of Cold War zombies. As the full sentence says, development on Ashika Island was halted in the mid-1990s due to Redacted and the sterling work of Redacted, but publicly the reasons remain undisclosed. Now, straight away, it is hard to deny that the description of development being halted due to Redacted and the sterling work of Redacted does not sound far-fetched at all to link that to potentially the work of Dr. Peck. Sterling work is high praise. That's a very high standard of work. This is where things get even more exciting because the current use of the island is the transportation of chemical and biological weapons. That sounds like something that Dr. Peck would be extremely interested in because mainly his time at Omega was researching about chemical and biological weapons to create the Operatia Inversia warheads. If you recall, during the Outbreak Easter egg, Dr. Peck was able to supercharge the power of Ethereum crystals for Omega Group's reality inversion warheads, which could generate dimensional breaches of up to 500 meters, creating a massive outbreak zone. These warheads would bypass Western warning systems to allow the missiles to reach their targets unimpeded, ensuring maximum damage that would be the catastrophic death blow to the West. Now, to ensure that this plan never succeeded, Maxis made secret contact with the Requiem strike team in the Ural Mountains, convincing them to go behind Requiem's back to meet with Ravenov at the Ruka silos and assist him with the destruction of the warheads. In the end, the warheads were retargeted and sent in the middle of the Pacific Ocean. Now, where is Ashika Island? In the middle of the Pacific Ocean. And what does it deal with? Biological weapons. It's here at the very end of Black Ops Cold War in the 1990s where we jump 5 years later to see Dr. Peck visit a boat rental house in Japan. He wants to go somewhere and he points on the map to the exact point in the Pacific Ocean where these rockets were dumped. Shopkeeper is reluctantly confused on why he wants to go in the middle of nowhere as there isn't anything there, and he responds to say that he's looking for some old friends. Now, if these are linked, then it doesn't take a genius to work out that the warheads were the true reason why Ashika Island was developed in the first place. Timeline matches perfectly. Dr. Peck goes there in 1990. Development on this island was halted in the mid-1990s. Imagine if this island is where those rockets were dumped. From Peck discovering that the rockets still existed, then developed a full-fledged facility on this island which deals with trying to reactivate these Operatia Versier warheads, whilst also developing new chemical and biological weapons. Even if this theory is not true and none of this is linked, there is clearly a story being hidden by Activision linked to the next Black Ops game with the fact that it's in the mid-1990s and there is some sort of secret operation and work done by a secret person. We've spoken at length about this being Dr. Peck, but there's also every chance that this could also be a hub of operations for Perseus. As we learn at the very end of Black Ops Cold War with the final season cutscene, Stitch reveals that Perseus was never one man and that there had been countless others before the one Adler had been hunting. If we know Adler, he's going to stop at nothing until Perseus is fully taken down. Now, there are more Black Ops Easter eggs beyond just Ashika Island and the mention in the blog post, which I haven't even made a video on yet before, but I wanted to collect a bunch of Easter eggs before I showed you. But another one, which is very suspicious, is that in DMZ, you can find Menendez's heart locket. You can find it all the time, and it is so clearly obvious Menendez's heart locket from Black Ops 2, but the question is, what is it doing here in 2023 in DMZ? As you can see right here, the description of it says it has something illegible written within it. It seems oddly familiar. Oh, come on, man. Why have they done this? It just doesn't make any sense, but I noticed this like within the first 2 days of DMZ, and it just stood out like a sore thumb, but it is so clearly Raul Menendez's locket. We know from the storyline of Black Ops 2 that Menendez was around from the late 1980s, so there's every chance that he could be in this next game. We don't know, but there's references to him in Black Ops Cold War as well. There is obviously a meaning behind it that we don't understand yet, and we might not actually understand for a long time, but that shows from the moment that the game has launched, they wanted to have some ties into Black Ops and Modern Warfare from the get-go. And from what we know about the development behind the story of Black Ops Cold War, the same person that assisted Raven on Black Ops 1's campaign assisted on Black Ops Cold War and confirmed that Black Ops Cold War and Black Ops 2 to 4 still canonically fit together. How much of the events of Black Ops 2 will be retconned in order to make complete sense with the Modern Warfare's timeline we have right now, we aren't too sure, but clearly Menendez still exists. I'm just so gobsmacked at how much lore there already is behind this island, which is incredibly exciting for those that are fans of Modern Warfare and for those like us that are diehard Black Ops fans. Seeing Treyarch's next game teased like this, and the map's not even here. We can see so many developments over the coming months where there'll be changes to it for the storyline to shift, but we'll learn more about the story for the current time, as well as what might have happened back in the day that will potentially lead into how we see it in Black Ops 2024. We know storyline-wise that Shadow Company under the leadership of Redacted have taken control of the island, seemingly on the hunt for members of the Coney group, and there's a good chance that Graves could be the one that's leading Shadow Company here on this island. Now, he is supposed to be dead at the end of the campaign for Modern Warfare 2, but we didn't actually see his body, so like as if you see it in many movies, if you didn't see it, then it didn't happen. And many times in zombies and as well as Black Ops campaigns, if you didn't see it, then it didn't happen. Some other really exciting intel that connects this island to Building 21 is that noxious weaponry is being shipped from a suspected biolab facility in Al Mazrah to this island. So I just think it's so cool that we have all this lore connected into this one map. It's going to be a lot more important than what we first realized. Let me know what you think. Is this all just a bit far-fetched, or is there actually some credence to this? Because I genuinely do think that this is their way of introducing concepts and ideas mentioned about what's going to be coming in the next game. Because heck, at the end of the Modern Warfare 2019 campaign, they mentioned about the Cold War. I don't think anything is far-fetched these days when they are trying to make sure all these games are connected, and it just makes sense that if this map has legs to last several years, then there needs to be iterations where it will make sense in the timeline of the next game, which is rumored to be in the 1990s, so it just makes perfect sense. If you agree with all of this and you're hella excited, leave a like rating, make sure to subscribe for more videos like this. I'll see you next time.